Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Contributor James Sample, clearly a setback for the president and the GOP.
Absolutely correct, Kira. And it is a victory, though, for voters and for the states who have provisions that include these grace periods. As Devin said, a number of states have those provisions. It has certainly been a major issue so far in the midterm elections and the primaries already, as you've seen in California. This is a ruling that says that the congressional statutes that refer to Election Day refer, in essence, to the casting of those ballots rather than the receiving of those ballots.
Welcome, my friends, to the Monday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. If you are going to pay attention to what you heard at the top of the show and say, big losses, no, that's not what I'm feeling today. I'm not feeling that there were huge, big losses by the Supreme Court. There were some things. Okay, the Supreme Court let stand the $5 million sex abuse verdict against the E. Jean Carroll, but that thing's not finished yet. You still got that $83.3 million damage verdict for defamation. Might make it to the court as well. Okay, so that's put one in the lose category. That's one for the L category. The decisions regarding the late arriving ballots, I say put temporarily in the loss column, and I will explain that in a minute. Temporarily. When it comes to federal officials, with Lisa Cook being allowed to stay, no, that is not a wholesale loss. Let me briefly explain why. The court didn't say he couldn't do it. The court said if you're going to do it, you have to have a process in place. You have to give her a hearing. You have to go through some steps. You can't just willy-nilly, and I'm putting it in plain speak, you can't just willy-nilly fire somebody from the Fed. Now, for the government agencies, the court, I guess this is the Snerdley style of analyzing Supreme Court decisions. Supreme Court said to Donald Trump, yo, bro, you know what? You run the federal government, bro. You run the agencies of the executive branch, bro. Executive branch, you want to fire, get rid of some of these liberal people that have been gunning up the works for years? Bro, have at it. Do it. Go. You got it. You run the federal executive branch, bro. Now, Sotomayor read from the bench a dissent on that particular aspect of the rulings. And I just love this. I love the way it's reported, number one. In a rare dissent from the bench, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said that the Supreme Court undid centuries, mind you, of political practice, and that the court concluded that the federal government had been acting in open defiance of the Constitution. Number one, dissents from the bench are no longer rare. Ever since the bench went 6-3, these liberal justices on the bench have been going out using the occasion of rulings they don't agree with to issue their dissents publicly, make news, make headlines, get your point, wah, 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 wah. And so it's no longer a rare dissent. They are normal dissent. That's a New York Times story. It's now normal for liberals on the Supreme Court to go out and whine after the verdicts that they lose. Secondly, there are not centuries of political practice here. We're talking about a law that was 95 years old that the Supreme Court said, nope, times have changed, overturned. That goes to the living and breathing, I suppose, aspect of federal law, not the Constitution. It's living, breathing. And what the courts ruled pretty much is, look, these agencies are so huge now. They weren't when the country was created. And over so much of a swath of people's lives that somebody's got to be in charge. They're executive branch agencies, even though Congress did set them up. They are under the executive branch. The head of the executive branch can decide who runs them for accountability purposes. Good ruling. By the way, huge win. And after the dust settled and you had this initial rush to say, oh, Trump lost. Oh, bad day. Ooh, really bad day for the Donald. After that little rush was over, people started examining from these news agencies what the rulings actually said. Now you're going to see the headline shift. I saw one already. I didn't bother to print it. This is the biggest expansion of federal power in 100 years. Not centuries, 100 years, 1 century. The Supreme Court gave a huge win for Donald Trump with this. You run the executive branch, and by the way, this is not just going to go for Trump. This is going to go for future presidents, be they Democrat or Republican, and there will be times in our lifetime or not or beyond when someone is going to rue the day that this actually passed from the Republican side, because you're going to have some Democrat wise guy, if they are still existent as a political party, or you'll have the Socialist Party win something, maybe the presidency in some century, and their executive is going to be the beneficiary of the executive power that Donald Trump has amassed and is amassing. Now, the one that has everyone upset. And I saw a headline about this, and I'm wondering who writes these headlines. I saw a headline in Conservatives Revolt Against Supreme Court Ruling. Revolt my behind. They're criticizing it. What revolt? There is no revolt. You can't do a damn thing about Amy, what's her name, Coney Barrett, and you can't do anything about Chief Justice Roberts writing the rulings. What revolt? You may be disgruntled, you may be unhappy, you may not like it. But there is no revolt against the court. You can't do anything. It's a ruling. The court made the ruling. Get over it. Like we have to get over a lot of rulings that we have not liked over the centuries, decades. That's the way it goes with the Supreme Court. And hence my point of this being a temporary situation. Supreme Court upholds Mississippi late arriving ballot in ballot law. Okay, the Supreme Court said today Mississippi could keep the grace period for late arriving mail-in ballots, subject to, that's what Trump, he wanted to invalidate. Their state law says you can do it. Constitution, by the way, gives states the rights to run their elections.